Hello, House and Home. My name's Alison Strickland. I'm a partner at Willmott Strickland, and welcome to our escarpment project. The client was looking for a big change from what they had. They were living in a small bungalow, and they were really wanting to invest in a home to accommodate a future family. It's a 4-bedroom house and fully functional, fully appointed ground floor, and basement living as well, so it's going to last them a long time. Our firm did both the architecture and the interior design. It was all done in-house with our own team. We conceived of the whole architectural concept, the layout, the exterior, and then followed it through to all the interior details, the furnishings, all the accessories, so it was a full project. They had a wish list that they provided to us, which we went through. It was a Pinterest board. And on that wish list, there was a pale green front door, and that became a real anchor point for not just the exterior of the house, but it's on the interior of the house too. But also, to your right, you get a lovely 2-story sense of space that also draws you to the second floor. And then as you continue up the stairs, there's a very cute little round window. I love creating moments in architecture, little surprise moments, little places where you can pause and experience the space as you transition from one part of the house through to another. At the front door, you can see through the house through a progression of arches all the way out to the back door. And each time you pass through an arch, you go into another little space. So this gives you a sense of transition as you're moving along the hallway until you ultimately pass through the last arch and into the big space at the back of the house. So this is what we installed to help contain the dog. It was a big dog. So it's built in, tucked away, so that when you're not using it, it's completely out of sight. I would call this a traditional house that's contemporary and relevant. We're not designing in a vacuum. We need to be aware of what's going on in the design industry around us and come up with ideas and solutions that will last 15 to 20 years for our clients. So it's got some farmhouse elements, but it's not a farmhouse. This is a city house. When you come to the back of the house, there are really only 2 spaces. There's the kitchen on the one side. That incorporates an eating area with a banquette in it. That's essentially the dining room in this house. There is no separate formal dining room. There's a little running joke in our office that every project eventually seems to have a banquette. We custom made a bench for that space, but we didn't want it to look built in. You know, it fits exactly in the space it was intended for, but it is a movable piece of furniture. The table also was customized. You'll see that it has rounded corners at the edges so that there's nothing sharp to catch your hip. And then to the other side of this open space is the family room. This is where they do most of their living every day. And because the 2 rooms are one big open space, we have tried to create a little bit of definition between the kitchen side and the family room side. So if you look at the ceilings, different treatment there. There's no question as to which room you're in. They don't just bleed thoughtlessly from one room into the other. That was actually another idea that the clients had on their wish list, was a brick backsplash. We looked around to find the right texture, the right look. We did put a wash on top of it to just moderate the color. But you'll also see that there's a solid backsplash of about 8 inches high, so it's got the functionality, but the looks as well. On the island, it's a natural marble, but then on the surrounding millwork, it's just a man-made quartzite. And a little bit more cost-effective too, like just put the showpiece on the island. The coffee area is off to one end of the kitchen to be out of the way of your daily cooking. A little bit of open shelving is always nice to have so that not everything is behind a door. It creates a bit of depth in the millwork as well. So there's space for that. Not everything has to be tucked away. Just off the main kitchen is this walk-in pantry. And we installed a sliding door with a watery glass to sort of conceal any mess that might be going on in here. Once you come inside, it's a combination of open and closed shelves, lots of counter space, lots of room to store your vegetables and your extra appliances, and some beautiful pieces of china. Right off the family room, there's an enclosed 3-season room. It's got a wood-burning fireplace, and it's got bifolding doors that open up completely. So, you know, you can feel as if you're sitting outdoors. And then there's a sliding door that separates it from the family room. The materials in there are pulled from the exterior of the house, so it's got the same stone that we're using on the outside. We just kind of used it in a more interior application. We wanted to bring a bit more gravitas to the office. So when you go into that space, you'll see that it's much darker than the rest of the house. It's a working office, so it had to function well. The bookcases and the millwork were absolutely necessary. There's also a TV there for recreation, but keeping an eye on what's going on in the business world at the same time while you're working. Just off the office is a small privacy booth for one of the homeowners who conducts very sensitive interviews. I've never done a soundproof booth before. This was a first, and I haven't been asked for that again. You know, we get to do soundproof walls and floors, but that was the first. The powder room was one of the core rooms right at the beginning of the project. I have family in the UK, and so I visit there a lot, and I had this tile that I'd picked up on a previous trip, not knowing where or how I was ever going to use it, and it waited there for the perfect client to come along. The wallpaper too was something that I'd sourced along the way, and they came together, and that became one of the founding rooms in the house that sort of set the tone for the decor and the style. It's the smallest room in the house, but it packs a punch. In the laundry, we really wanted to make sure that it was a fully functional room, and the client specifically asked for some tilt-out racks to hang, more delicate pieces of clothing or something that didn't need to go in the dryer. There's also a dog shower there, once again, a nod to the presence of a dog in the house. There's also a laundry chute which is concealed behind some cabinetry which connects the upper floors to that laundry, so you can just throw your laundry down the chute and it'll land in a container at the bottom. This project has high moments and low moments in terms of budget. They're very carefully used so that you can't tell where we've gone high and where we've gone low. And that points to the power of design. When you're using design as your tool, you can really use inexpensive materials when the design is taking it all the way to the finish line.